What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ. I guess I shouldn't be doing my own thing here. Guess sorry to keep you guys waiting. We had a few things we had to handle here first, and then had a call with Kash here. Just got off the phone with him, and interesting thing we're investigating at the moment. Don't want to spill the beans on anything at the moment, but Mr. President, our team is dedicated to finding you out that answer and to figure out the correct thing here. So thank you to everybody that's been waiting. I don't see any comments that have been built up, but we are here at Cash's home here in Logan County, Arkansas, and got a nice, beautiful view of the lake here, and just figured we'd give you guys the update. Cash will be in court tomorrow morning. I did go live from the studio here. That's the last video. I had to end that one. The internet was just too disconnecting and or too weak, and yeah. So there wasn't anybody that was waiting there for us. But if you're trying to get a hold of us, you know how to do so by contacting the page here and reach out if you're in the area. So, but we are here at Cash's home. We did contact the sheriff. Our team knows that I'm live here, and if any of them join, they're more than welcome to. So, but I want to reiterate and kind of restart where we were at there from this morning. So this case started in way back when in 2012. He started having his issues, but with Lake County specifically, it was 2016, correct? And so when he had his cases in Illinois, obviously he became one of the loudest speakers in the country when it comes to family rights. I don't think that's in dispute. I don't think there's anybody that could sit here and say that they've been as loud as Cash Jackson when it comes to family rights and children's rights and family law reform specifically. And so there's some people that are pretty close, but not on his level, right? He's led 2 marches to D.C. He's ran for governor of Illinois. He's started and created VLN here that you're watching right now. So at the end of the day, it's a travesty that the public can watch this happen and nothing, and the people that are doing this think that they can just get away with it. Now, I will say this: we have undisputable, proven constitutional rights violations in Cash Jackson's case, enough to accuse and indict people for treason and sedition. And there has been many discussions about the use of calling this treason and sedition when it comes to accusing those in government who have violated constitutional rights. And I don't know what else you call it, but I'm sure the comments section can have a debate about it and what treason and sedition actually looks like in America. And in my opinion, and in my constitutional understanding, violations of constitutional rights is treason. So, some people want to roll their eyes at that, and some people want to think that we are overstating a position here and that it's not treason and sedition. Well, what do you call constitutional rights violations? And you see how the comment sections in all these social media stay quiet? You notice how it's nobody that's going to sit there and try to justify the other side. You see how it's just Cash's supporters. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Select all, cut, and comments. Let's see, can I turn it this way? What happens? Do I get comments? How do I comment? I need to be able to leave a comment. So post a comment, paste, chat, public. Now, what you're going to notice on the screen right now is that link right there. I'm going to leave it up here for a while. Now, our team has suggested that we contact the sheriff and invite them to Cash's property where they can explain to us and answer some of our questions and explain why they're doing what they're doing, why they think it's okay, or why they think it's not okay. But we need to have the conversation either way and allow them to respond. So, specifically, if you are Sheriff Massey, and in lieu of coming out here, I'm more than willing to put you on the other half of the screen. So I've been told all week from people, they're watching, CJ, they're watching. All right, well, if you're watching, feel free to type that in there and join. All right. And when you do join, you're going to meet people like our national commander, Dick Liberty. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, thank you, Mr. CJ. How
I
are
should
you
say
doing
brother
today?
because, again, you work for a living.
Yes, well,
I am
we have
sitting
our
on Cash
discussion.
Jackson's porch wondering why Cash Jackson can't be on his own porch right now.
Hopefully, we'll be there by tomorrow afternoon.
I hope so too, and I actually pray it, you know. And one of the things that Dick, as you and I have discussed, is, and I think everybody should be aware of it, is that language is very important to you and I. Language is very important to Cash. He's very meticulous with his words. Okay, we've all known him for years now, or at least have heard or known of him for years now. And in some circles, he is a household name. All right, he's earned a lot of people's respect, and only those that want to speak ill of him are those that don't know him, that are not his friends, not his family, and will never ever have the opportunity to know him as a friend or family. But the thing about Cash that I've always learned is that he's willing to give everybody the opportunity to do the right thing. He has a lot
Yes,
of
he is.
patience, but even his patience,
Yes,
even his patience is running thin when you've been fighting a war for as long as he has, when you have watched your family be separated in a violent way. Let's face it, the state used violence to do it. And you're deprived of your constitutional rights. I don't think it's okay for the government to torture a man for years on end and then use that torture when that man breaks and use the words that he says against him in the manner that they did.
no, I do not think it's right myself, and I think that one of the patterns I've seen is those of us who become very good at articulating a message through language seem to be the ones who get shunned and criticized or try to box in the most.
Well, you know, and again, as we say this from our internet boxes, you know, I do want to again remind, if you're just tuning in and your name is Sheriff Massey of Logan County, Arkansas, you can type that into or copy from the chat into your phone. And in lieu of coming here and having a conversation, you can always join digitally, and we're willing to have the team here hear you out. So,
And speaking
Dick,
of this, Sheriff
I know you're
Massey,
not I don't think.
I
Yes,
was
sir.
say,
Go ahead.
speaking of Sheriff Massey, I, Dick Liberty, as National Commander of Veteran Liberty Network, want to make it expressly clear that in no way are we trying to pose something that can be considered or framed as a threat. We actually want to know your story. We want to know how this has impacted you, because if you have cases like this going through your court systems and violating the constitutional right that you swore to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then I think you would want to answer some of these questions, and I think you would want to address some of these issues and how it's put what could be perceived a bad light on the entire Lake County. So we have just as many questions as you, and we would welcome you and greatly be appreciative if you would join us in this conversation. Sorry, CJ. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So Dick, no. That's a great way to put that because I think there has been several misunderstandings and several points of confusion. There's a lot of unknowns and variables in this case that are so complicated and so you can interpret it one way, but you can also interpret it another way. And I think it's in the eyes of the interpretation. And I think that what the sheriff here I would hope can understand is that our network is dedicated to using our First Amendment unapologetically and exhausting it to every extent possible. So, including phone calls, including making ourselves available in public, like at our studio, including creating a space here on the internet for you to type this in right here in your computer and join us and the opportunity to ask questions and have a conversation because we find at Veteran Liberty Network that our liberties are only secure so long as we maintain exhausting every limit of the First Amendment, including creating a network of veterans that can help support one another when it comes to asking these questions and appropriately approaching the people that need to have these questions and these issues redressed to. This network is dedicated to redressing the grievances of veterans. I want you to read this now as it scrolls across the bottom, and I want you to read every word. And I want you to understand that this is a mission, that this is a stance. As a libertarian, you take something called the non-aggression principle. You practice something called the non-aggression principle, where you will not use force and violence to resolve political issues. So it is an insult to veterans who not only took an oath to the Constitution, but then came out of their military service to know that they are capable of some extremely violent situations where their training is violent. I was trained to be a combat engineer. All right, I was trained to go to
CJ,
combat.
I
I mean,
want to say something real quick, and I have to handle something. Then I'll be back shortly after that. But before I part, I want
absolutely. And of course, you're cutting out now. Hang on, Dick. If I can't hear you, they can't hear you. Dick, they can't hear you.
How about now?
Dick. Yep, now we
now?
can hear you.
Okay. What I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
say was that law enforcement officers, first responders, just like veterans, are going to have a day when they're disconnected from humanity, just like veterans, because of the services they've had to provide and what they've had to see and what they've had to deal with, and the dead bodies and the traumas and how it's impacted them, or losing a partner. So you're going to be at one point in your life, whether you believe it or not, in the same position that this Veteran Liberty Network veterans are in, and veterans across the nation and world are in. It's not just in America, it's in foreign arms too. Point being, because when you have to reconnect, it's going to be, and that's all we're trying to do. Show you this video, we're voracious, and there's nothing if we. So
Now they're throttling our
note,
national commander,
I
huh?
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah, Dick.
Do,
You're cutting out.
my
You're
door is
cutting out
always
again.
open. Well, I will check back in a little bit. Let me get something wrapped up, and I will follow back in just a bit.
All right, sounds good, Dick. Thank you for hopping on. Again, this is an open link here for Sheriff Massey, StreamYard.com/N8PR67UDF. Amanda Marie asks a great question here. What did the sheriff do wrong in this case? The sheriff served an unconstitutional warrant that the state of Illinois had to backtrack. All right. The state of Illinois had to backtrack on their governor's warrant. All right. They declared it invalid on their own accord. So the sheriff here in Arkansas, having done no investigation, serviced an unconstitutional warrant. Now, whether or not that was knowingly or and intentionally, or unknowingly and malfeasantly, either way, that's what I believe at this moment. So that's why, again, if Sheriff Massey is watching, and or somebody from the department is watching, or if you watching this, all 23 of you could send this to the Lake County Facebook page or to their YouTube, make them aware that this broadcast is going. We are more than welcome. We are more than welcoming to have this conversation. If you are Judge Joseph Salvi, if you are Judge Janelle Christensen, if you are who's the Morrison, if you are the Morrison, if you're you know who you are, Sergeant, I believe, Sergeant Morrison. You are welcome as well here this afternoon on Veteran Liberty Network. And if you're just tuning in now, please, in the comments, if you're supporting us somewhere in here, tag them and hit the share button and let them know that we would like to have a conversation with them. And I think there's no better way to have a safe, easy, and secure conversation in this manner right here. We have invited the sheriff to come here personally and have a seat and talk with our chaplain, who's our acting vice president, and myself, and explain it. You know, I mean, you're the constitutional sheriff here, are you not, Sheriff Massey? You are the top law enforcement officer in this jurisdiction, right? It shouldn't be hard for you to oblige us this afternoon with your time, especially with the current situation. Shall I explain myself better? So again, we'll wait a little bit. We'll give it the opportunity for anybody that wants to also join. If you want to come on and say something about this yourself, if you're not Sheriff Massey. How about this? We'll open this up now since we've given it about 18 minutes or so. We'll open this up to anybody else, and we'll see if anybody else would like to join at the moment and say some words. I'd let Jake say some words, but I can't put him on the screen right now. He's getting himself a suntan with this beautiful Arkansas sun. I came here all the way from South Dakota, and I'm trying to be as hospitable. Is that the Southern hospitality? You know, I hear all about this Southern hospitality of the, Arkansas here, and how everybody knows everybody, and I mean, and to that person's point, they know who they are. Again, I'm trying in every way, shape, and form right now to keep myself in a state of mind that is open and willing to hear from the other side and have a conversation, because the Constitution says you have to exhaust all limits, okay? And I mean all. Right? What we're doing right now is freedom of the press.
The Constitution gives us rights that we're not supposed to fight
for.
They're supposed to be acknowledged.
No. You know what I'm saying, though. You understand what I'm saying, right? We're going to exhaust.
I mean, it should have been acknowledged. Okay, you split child custody. Have a nice day. It should have been just like that.
Yeah.
But instead, they didn't want it.
But one person wanted
They
to
didn't
become
want it.
malicious.
The
The court system wanted to capitalize.
All of us to fall in line.
And they want to use
And we're not
Kash
going
as an
to.
example.
We're not gonna fall.
And they want to use Kash as an example. So, for example, I was live on Veteran Liberty Network on TikTok, and we have a larger following there than we do here on YouTube, admittedly, and Facebook. So if you're not following us on TikTok, you're missing out. We just had a great thing called War Games we just did there on TikTok, where we had cosplayers from all around the world promoting their causes, and the championship belt that was won by a Canadian, if you can believe that. His name is Dark Frost. He's a Canadian cosplayer.
Okay.
Hey, don't you know? Yeah, you betcha, sure. Hey. He said he was sorry for losing. I've never heard somebody apologize for winning, but he had to apologize. So while all this is still going on, we're still trying to show you all that, one, we want to maintain humanity. All right? Nobody wants to have to sit here on their days and say that they believe that people are violating the Constitution of the United States. Nobody wants their children taken from them. Nobody wants to be put through what Kash Jackson is put through. So I find it awfully amusing that a sheriff who serviced an unconstitutional warrant, who says that he is the top enforcement officer in this jurisdiction, can openly violate the Constitution, making him what? Above what? The law. And Kash Jackson has the right to due process, which Sheriff Massey may or may not be playing a role in the violations of his due process, but we're going to find out tomorrow. We're going to find out. Or he could just answer our questions right now. It's a simple link to just click. If you scroll to the top of this, it's right there. Just hit the button. You can type in your name, Sheriff Massey. Then it'll verify you, and I'll see you pop up backstage here, and I'll see that you're ready to go, and I'll introduce you as the Logan County Sheriff who's willing to actually come on. But if you're not, we're just going to report at the end of this that you did not. And again, if you've already, there's 19 of you watching. If you haven't tagged Logan County, I'm sure the administrator there, whoever manages their social media, would probably see this first. So if you could let the sheriff know by writing down this link and telling him to type that into his computer, I'd be very grateful today. It would save everybody's time. You don't have to waste taxpayers' dollars on the fuel that it would take to come out here, or the man hours of you having to be escorted by another deputy. The internet actually makes it largely affordable for poor people like me to be able to have conversations with everybody. So that link is the easiest button to click right now. And this sun is very hot, and I am enjoying the Arkansas sun today. Whew, buddy. I don't see any comments. I mean, you guys, does 19 of you just want to just sit here and stare at this gingered bearded man all day rocking on a back porch, or what? Why don't you just call him if you want to talk to the sheriff? Because I want all of you, and I want him to know that all of you are watching. That's why. And it's in time. That's what I want. Because I don't need to call him and have somebody recording over my shoulder or download some call app. This is, everybody knows we are talking publicly. We are live. To answer your question there, Amanda. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to have a conversation, folks. It shouldn't be your side, my side. It should be our side discussing how they violate rights. All right. We are Americans. Do you understand that? Do you understand what that means when you say you're an American? Do you? Or at least what it used to mean. Thank you, Chaplain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this
stock of the world?
Is this what America has to become? a place where veterans have to form networks to cover constitutional rights violations and cover them when they happen. Send people to other states. Amanda, what we're doing is, again, in good faith. I don't even know if this is a real account now at this point, but what we're trying to do is what's called in good faith. Okay, so I'm posting this out here publicly in good faith, and I hope that the sheriff would return that good faith by obliging an entire network of veterans to have a public conversation with the acting president of our network. And your confusion only goes to show that we still explained ourselves clearly enough to where everybody can understand. All right? Because we're going to come to an understanding here in the next 2 days. Make no mistake about it. We're going to come to an understanding. And, you know, I'm maintaining what humanity Kash Jackson has left right now. All right? As the acting president, I never wanted to be sitting in this chair. I used to sit in that chair. All right? And I was proud to sit in that chair. And I still am. So you're not going to sit there and disgrace my brother and think that you can just have nobody respond to you. Those days are done. You understand those words? Done. Kash isn't fighting alone. Kash has countless supporters. More supporters than are showing up on these numbers, I promise you. And who's to say that these numbers are actually accurate? For all we know, we got 18 people that are watching just to watch because they enjoy watching a man suffer. Not all of you. I'm sure there's some of you. I don't think Kash Jackson for 1 second has warranted the treatment that he received at the hands of his government. And I don't even think he'd call it his government, to be honest. This government. And I think it's pretty cowardice that people think that it's okay that a 20-year naval veteran who spent more of his life underneath the ocean in a submarine than any of us, really. Only a few can say they've done what he's done. I can walk you in this house and show you awards from presidents. I can walk you in this house and show you the units that he displays, that he's been with. But if I go and I read those words from presidents, and then you look at how this man's being treated today, you're going to wonder why this is happening. Much like the rest of us, we're wondering why. All right? Now, how long do you guys think is appropriate for me to sit here live asking 22 now people to send this to the sheriff? All right? How many people, how many minutes do you think it's going to take? If you sent this to the sheriff, would you please leave a comment saying I sent this to the sheriff? I must be at a different elevation because my ears have been all jacked up.
Yeah, it takes a little bit.
So, but yeah, again, I can go in this house, show you awards from presidents. I can show you accommodations. I can show you all the things that Kash Jackson did while he was in the Navy, minus some of the stuff that I know are probably buried in a box pretty deep. So I'm curious. You know, Cassie, if you're watching this, like I'm told you've been watching, how can you tell me this is okay? I'm hoping that in your mind you don't think it's okay, and I'm just sitting here pontificating on things I don't understand. I hope to God I'm the dumbest man on the planet right now. And now Sarah's here. Trying to ask Sheriff Massey to join us. I've left the StreamYard link live now for a half hour. Oh, maybe she's been watching. You about scared me though. I was like, oh, they're here. We're gonna get swatted now.
You didn't hear move, move,
Move.
down.
He's there. He's there. But again, hey, I mean, I don't think you can convince any of us here that Cash Jackson's guilty of any crime, to be honest. I don't think there's any actual victim that could get on the stand and say that they're a victim of Cash Jackson. I know there's no corpus delicti. I know there's no victim. Therefore, I know there's no crime. So why is my brother still being held political prisoner? The question today. Now, before I give out any orders of the day, I'm going to ask the question of the day. Now, Sheriff Massey, if you're watching this, I'm going to give you another option. You know that I'm going to be here. I've just been enjoying this sun. I mean, it was like, 26 degrees when I left South Dakota. So, yeah, I forgot my sandals. So I'm still wearing my snow boots, shoes here, or whatever. Snowshoes. Yeah, they are cute. They're easy to slip on when the dog has to take a shit. All right, and I got to sit out there in 12-degree weather while the dog takes a poop, and then we both go running back inside.
Devil dog cuteness.
Yeah, Daisy's a great dog. She'd love Dutch. I would have brought her with if I didn't know she's such a responsibility and she wouldn't take off running for a mile. So again, how long can I wait? I mean, Sheriff Massey, if you're watching this, I left you my phone number. Jake, did I not leave my phone number? You could actually interrupt this feed. You could say, CJ, I can't go live right now because the people that are pulling my strings, they won't let me call you or talk to you. You could even go that route for all I care. You can call me and interrupt this stream right now. Again, I mean, I don't know how much more I can leave this door open. I don't like kicking dead horses. I like to let dead horses just sit where they are and then, leave them alone. They're already dead. So, Sarah, how long you lived in Logan County? Your whole life. Do you know Sheriff Massey? Not well, but have you ever met him? Does he strike you as the kind of man that would intentionally allow one of his residents have their rights violated? Does he strike you as the man that would violate somebody's constitutional rights? You don't want to believe it, but does he strike you, or have you heard? Other than Cash Jackson, let's leave Cash out of this. But prior to ever meeting Cash, what you know, Sheriff Massey, then never met him before. But have you ever heard of him? I mean, obviously he's the sheriff.
Like I said, I'd like to think that he wouldn't do anything, but the interactions I've had with him since this has happened, he hasn't been very nice. So he just comes off as, I don't know,
Distant.
an apple.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's another guy running here for sheriff, is there not? Mike Huber. Have you ever met him? He's been very helpful.
I
All right.
Huber. I had a lieutenant.
He called you.
He called me.
Wow.
I had, messaged him.
Mr. Huber, Sheriff Huber, is he sheriff or is he he's running? Oh, he's a neighbor.
Yeah.
And he's got signs all over the county. Is he the front runner? Because I don't see anybody else's signs for sheriff all over the county. Huh? Sounds like the front runner for sheriff has been helpful. Maybe he's the sheriff on the way out and he knows it.
Well,
maybe Massey's the sheriff on the way out the door and he knows it.
Well, Massey knows the law. Well, that's the thing when he told me that he didn't know about the extradition stuff and told me the 10 days. Well, how is that possible?
Yeah, how did he tell you 10 days and he's still in jail right now?
Yeah.
How?
He said he didn't know about the extradition and they were getting all here. They were getting information from the prosecuting attorney.
Prosecuting attorney from here,
Tyler.
Tyler Baum.
Totally biased.
You are also welcome, Tyler, to click that link as well. Remember, everybody's name that was on that first indictment, you are going to be indicted, because you don't just get to do what you did and then say, oh, we made a mistake, and then take a second bite at the apple. So
He stayed in.
so again, your names are all going on individual indictments. So if you'd like to rat out the person that made you do what you do, you can also click that link right there as well.
See, the other bad thing is this costs the county and state a lot of money here to do.
Yeah, but they take that from all the people working their asses off.
Right, but I'm just saying.
They siphon from the
what
working
people should
class.
the people should be.
So all they see is
interested in
man hours. All they see is man hours and money to be made. So by rubber stamping it like they did, they just and that's what we believe we've caught from the first warrant, is we caught the across state lines under the table handshake of the human trafficking network. All right, the ones that'll do exactly what they've done. All right, so you don't just get to violate people's constitutional rights and then think that you're just going to be able to get away with it. Not anymore, at least. See, what they didn't figure out is they didn't figure out the technology side of things. So what they're counting on is people to be ignorant. They're counting on people to not know the law. They're counting on people to not know their rights. And they're counting on the apathy of the individual. Okay? That is what they bank on. And note, I say they bank on the apathy of the public, the ignorance of the public, and the public who willingly make themselves slaves to them. Okay? The ones that are going to be obedient and unquestioning will find that they can live a working slave life. The ones within the working slave that they can control, they will prop up and they will celebrate. And if you will not go with their message, you are a dissident. If you will not play their game, you are a political threat to them. And that's what Kash Jackson is. He's a political threat to their system. And I think Kash would say that's an honor. Would I not?
True that.
If he was here and I said, Kash, you are the enemy's number one, the ace of spades in their deck right now, don't you think he'd take that as an honor? Yeah, I think he would. So, yeah. But that goes to show the work. When you put in the work and you put in the effort and you build something that they can't take from you, and you build a team of people that support you, they can't do what they're doing because there's too many eyes watching what they're doing. And it keeps them what we like to call, what's that word that they used to have it a while back? Accountability. There it is. Accountability. And we're going to hold everybody accountable for the constitutional rights violations they participate in. The question of the day is whether or not you willingly or knowingly participated in it. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and yeah, there we go. Boom. Thought I lost everybody for a second.
And that's the problem is there's no ability, there's immunity.
There is no accountability where
No one should have immunity.
Nobody should have immunity. Nobody is above the Constitution.
Again. Sure.
Boom. Are you delivering that? We're going to send Sarah down to deliver documents that need to go to Kash. And we already know you guys have been playing games with his commissary and his document and not letting a chaplain see him. Hey, Jay, you're the chaplain of VLN, correct?
Yes.
I wrote you an entire letter and signed it. Ooh, you got a big ass wasp right on your face. Dang. So I wrote you a letter, did I not? Did you send that to the Lake County Sheriff?
I think I did.
And they didn't let you see Kash.
Yeah.
Not one time so they violated his First Amendment right. Hey, Sheriff Massey, do you know what a First Amendment right is? Your right to your religion. Do I have to start with the First Amendment again?
They'll allow it.
unless they go through a full in-depth investigation process and they have the approval of their already determined.
Do you understand what a First Amendment right violation is, Sheriff Massey? Do you understand what a First Amendment rights violation is?
How is it going to validate religion?
Do you know, again, it was rhetorical, Jake. Do you know what a First Amendment right violation is, Sheriff Massey? It's just a question. I think it warrants an answer. I mean, for the love of God, I think when people get confused, and I'm like, yeah, and there also may be a 10th Amendment violation in this, as well as a 9th Amendment violation in this, and people are like, I would understand, the dumbest in our society to go way above my head, tuning out, look, American Idol's on, but one thing I will not tolerate is a sheriff where I now can say, do you know what a First Amendment violation is? So, again, I've provided for 41 minutes now, sitting in the hot Arkansas sun, the opportunity for the sheriff to hop on here and explain himself publicly in a controlled, safe environment for all parties. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know what else to do here. I know I've been sent text messages saying that they sent this over. So remember this, folks, your enemy will always act on their time because they believe you're on their time, right? Your enemy will always expose themselves when they believe that. You ever heard the whole thing why a villain will give a monologue, right? Like in a movie, you're watching a movie and you're watching the villain and everybody hates the villain, right? But the villain and their exposure of their plan, like it was their secret plan all along, and they have to monologue to the villain why they're doing their villainous shit. That's what I feel like we're waiting for, Oh, I hated the man all along. Or maybe I'm wrong. Again, how do you provide humanity to somebody who has constitutional rights complaints against them?
Sure.
Anybody?
I'm sorry, say again.
How do you give humanity to people that have complaints of constitutional rights violations against them? Yeah, like, hey, maybe you just fucked it up and are incompetent. Maybe it's misfeasance, not malfeasance. One's just sedition, the other's treason. I mean, how do you give humanity to somebody that is being exposed like that as somebody who they used to call him a treasonous Barney back in the wild west. A treasonous sheriff was called a treasonous Barney.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in how you look at it, but honestly, coming from the perspective, looking at it as just a regular American.
And this is where the sheriff needs to be concerned, because I have a jury of 12 that hearted and liked this video. So I know at least 12 people agree with what we're saying and what we're doing here right now, Sheriff. You see how I did that?
Yep.
So this is what you're going to get from Veteran Liberty Network. Do you understand that? Moving forward, we're going to have this expand. We only get larger and louder. We don't shrink and get smaller. We don't go away. We talk about things that Fox News won't talk about, CNN won't talk about, ABC won't talk about, NBC won't talk about. Not only do you come after us the way you came after Kash, you censor us, and you individually target us. But one thing I do know for certain, this network will be around a lot longer than I'm alive. I will not be the last vice president of Veteran Liberty Network. I hope to not be the acting president here soon enough, and that we can put the real president on here sitting in this chair every morning. And he can be joining us on our team calls the way that we do. Jake, have we not had team calls damn near every day?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes even on the weekends. How many man hours do you think our entire team put together into this?
A lot.
A lot. So you don't think that we're not already invested and that we're not already, I mean, we're entrenched here is the word I'm looking for. I'm going to go to the courthouse tomorrow with an open mind, all right? I'm going to go into the courthouse tomorrow with an opportunity that any of you that have been accused of sedition and treason are welcome to approach me and confess your sedition and treason in an open court, as the Constitution says you are allowed. Because I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, and I'll be damned if that oath will be used against me. Do you understand me? I'm a United States Marine Corps combat veteran. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm a Purple Heart recipient. I've seen what violence is. I know what violence is, and I'm not here to be violent. I'm here to use my First Amendment, which is why we created Veteran Liberty Network to begin with, to use our First Amendment. I have left this on the screen for everybody. Our national commander has joined us. Our team is watching this. So I don't feel alone. I don't feel like I'm in this by myself. And I know people agree with me. And I'm venturing to guess right now that there's about one or two of you that are watching this going, well, now what? I don't know. The offer still stands. Sheriff Massey, you're welcome to call me. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do that one right there. That's not cool. Again, I'm not here to advocate for violence. I'm here for constitutional correctness. You understand those words too? When you hear those words, Jake, when you hear constitutional correctness, what do you think that means?
That it falls within the realms of the Constitution.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Kash Jackson will be in court tomorrow morning, and I intend on being there. There's been enough speculation and enough misinformation about this case and a one-sided prosecution with a defense that has been censored and silenced and not allowed to speak on behalf of our president. Tomorrow we intend on speaking on behalf of our president. Loud and clear. Lima Charlie. I'm going to give it 10 more minutes. I think an hour is good enough. Don't you, Jake? I gave it an hour. I left the link on there for the entire public, for the whole world to see for 10 solid minutes.
Yeah.
Called out the sheriff and anybody else that's been doing this. If your name, listen, again, in the last 10 minutes, if your name was on that first warrant, you are going to be indicted for treason and sedition. Make no mistake about it. We are going to draft the documents and we are going to serve it to every appropriate party. Make no mistake about it.
Once documents, I decided to just make it over. Yeah. Unless it's, an official document.
I find it awfully funny that Senator Tom Cotton gave a speech defending the filibuster, but also at the same time put in a bill that's literally slavery. Does anybody want to explain to me how Tom Cotton can literally try to pass a slave bill? And when I say literally, I don't mean it in some sense. I mean, it is slavery written into law. Can anybody here in Arkansas, while I'm here, explain to me how your great senator there who's a veteran, can actually put a slavery bill into place? When Cash Jackson asked that question, Cash Jackson also intended on running for governor of Arkansas.
It's the money, you know. I mean, he's part of the state. Entitled 4D, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for the state.
And they wonder why Social Security.
Social Security is insolvent, and I will never see it. And therefore, why should I pay into it? How is it not theft of my lawfully earned wages, and the government shouldn't be able to take from me what I've rightfully earned?
I remember.
Andrea Vicker wants to know why. What will an indictment from you accomplish? See, it's not me, Andrea, and that's where you're wrong, and that's where the public is wrong. It is an indictment from an entire network of veterans, and we're going to put more names on that indictment than there are on the Constitution. So it's not just me, Andrea. It's this entire network of veterans that represent a lot of other veterans and currently serving active duty military members. We are going to indict them. All right. So that's what that accomplishes. So before Andrea's like, oh, you're a lone wolf and you don't mean shit and your indictment's going to be nothing. It ain't just me. What's that old tombstone? Tell them I'm coming and hell's coming with me. Trust me when I tell you. Hell's coming with me. We're going to expose this slavery network one slave owner at a time. The more we catch in one trap, the better.
A lot of it's explained for people that don't know in that change.org.
Oh yeah, please go to our on our Facebook page there. We have the change.org. You can go check out what our chaplain wrote and go sign that, please. I mean, how many signatures? Oh yeah, we're already at 500 signatures. So when I say we're going to build an indictment for treason and sedition, how many signatures do you actually need just to charge somebody with treason and sedition? 2. You only need 2. What if I provided you 500? Then what would my indictment do there, Andrea? Let's ask you the question now. Let's learn together. All right. When I have 500 former and current military members all saying that what they did to Kash is sedition and treason, then what? I live by a term called fuck around and find out. And what they did is they fucked around and they should find out. And if you don't believe that, then I question your patriotism. I question you as an American. How you could look at what they've done to Kash Jackson and the rest of us that have been sitting here saying for years on end that they are torturing us, and then think for a second that we can't actually realize to stop, wake up, and go, hey, did they fucking torture you? Hey, did they torture you? Yeah, they did. Hey, did they torture you? Fuck yeah, they did. And we're not going to apologize because we don't fit your primrosed approach that you want to see. We are what you call grunge journalists. If you haven't been reading this at the bottom, then you've sadly been mistaken. All right. But see how it says we're here for issues, causes, and solutions for problems we all face as veterans? And our team is dedicated to delivering the public the uncensored voices of our military veteran community with the respect, dignity, and valor, grace, and humanity that has been earned. So again, about 4 minutes left here, and then I'm going to hit the button. But make no mistake about it. I stood on the digital public square, and I called out every single one of these people. And I struggle to call some of them people, to be honest. I think they're more communist than they are people. And I don't believe a communist is a person. And I say that with certainty. Andrea, ye of little faith, and I will remember all of those who have ye of little faith. I have faith, believe it or not. I have faith that tomorrow that this judge will see it for what it is. I have faith that this judge will not continue to abuse this veteran that we know is being abused. And I have faith that this judge will do the right thing. The indictments will be what they will be, Andrea, and to anybody else who's thinking like Andrea here today. The indictments will come. They will be made public, and we will talk about every name on them. And we will make sure that we spend the rest of our lives making sure that the rest of their lives are as humanly difficult as possible. That's a fact. They've tortured us for long enough. And again, does a president get to make like a proclamation or something? Or like, can I like...
He can't even spell his own name.
No, not Joe Biden, me. I'm asking me. I'm the acting president, and I'm hoping I'm not by tomorrow night. So hopefully the last day of me being the acting president, I'm wondering if I can make a proclamation. Like...
Or proclamation, he went to the bathroom.
Yeah. Can I like, did this thing actually come with any, does this, does this seat actually come with anything that is like fun instead of just stress and constant freaking, mental?
Look at my life, I served 23 years in the military. I was in the special forces. I went to Iraq. I went to Afghanistan. I served in the highest command in the Army and was personally selected. And yeah, I had my kids taken away from me for no reason. I barely have a parking ticket my whole life. And yeah, I haven't seen my kids in 4.5 years. Why? Because they will not allow me to see my children. They made an order sanctioning me for no reason. And yeah, I miss my kids dearly. And but
I think there should be a rule.
Here's my child support was over 1,000% at one time.
I'm gonna make a proclamation here. I'm gonna make a new proclamation here. And in the name of hopefully this being the last day that I am the acting president of this network, that if you are a parent that has had your kids taken from you in a court of law, and your children come back to you as adults, you and your children get to take all the names that were on all of your court paperwork, submit it to our network, and we will indict your case so long as your children came back to you. Now, if they didn't come back to you, you can still reach out to our network, because your children may have been brainwashed to hate you. Your children may have been brainwashed to think that you're a monster. Your children may have been told one thing that made them think that the treatment that their other parent was getting was okay. And so your children had to then grow up without their other parent. You can still reach out to our network too. And we hope that we can help you reconnect someday through you showing that you are still a human being too. Told you're a murderer. I'm a murderer, they said, huh? That's an interesting thought. I wonder why Ashley Davis would put that. Who said that? Hey, you guys remember that crazy one I told you about from New York? Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, I must be one of the... I mean, shit, I'd like to see the allegation there. No, that's what my kids were told about me? Oh, shit. Oh, dang. Okay. Well, I thought you were saying I murdered. Like, holy shit. I got accused of that by a mentally deranged woman in New York who said I was a felon. So I the next day I went and got my concealed carry permit and bought a gun just to really shove it in her face. I mean, if she already feared me before, wait till you see the new pistol I bought, lady. So Elle even wrote it. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I mean, I'd like to hear the story on that one too sometime, but hey, look at that. Wouldn't you know? I gave it an hour. It's kind of like that old high noon, like I'll meet you out by that tree over there and we'll have a conversation. But I don't know, maybe the president's in town. I don't know. I don't know. Oh. So, any of you guys got anything before I close this thing out? Says my phone's burning up. I'm surprised it lasts this long. If there's anybody from the team watching that wanted to hop on, this is about your last chance here. So, I'll go live tomorrow morning. That'll be the next time that we'll be live. Yeah, change. Jake wants to remind everybody again, go to change.org there and on our VLN. Go look up Cash Jackson, sign the document, send it away. Share it. You hear this guy? He's telling you, like, do what you do for being on the internet.
This is how we fight. This is how we fight the regular people.
Yeah. Hey, this is literally if you don't have $1 to your name, but you're watching this, you can help more than you know. So again, by simply just sharing that as well. So I know that this is that not everybody has the ability to help. If there is a way that you can donate on our website. If you go to veteranliberdynetwork.org, there is a link to help donate if you feel so obliged just to help our network financially during this time. And we thank everybody that has already financially contributed your support. It means a lot to our team to show that that it's not just coming from this team, but hey, if you're actually supporting us financially, we want to make sure you can get to us too. So we will have a way for that through our website coming soon, where you'll be able to make a membership and you'll be able to tell your own story. There's a way. If you go to our website right now, Veteran Liberty Network. Let me see. I actually think I got the banner here for that. Let me go ahead and take it off of Ticker. If you go to this website right now, it is active, veteranliberdynetwork.org, and you'd like to tell us your story, we do have a way for you to do that as well. If you're a veteran, especially, we want to hear your stories. Or
if you're a family.
Or if you're a family of a veteran and you want to report that something's happening wrong to a veteran in your family.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have the ability right now to reach out. Maybe they are in a mental state where they could use a phone call from that 23-year Army veteran that's going to understand them more than the civilian sheriff's deputy that's just doing their job. That's what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build something that when something happens to one of us, all of us see what's happening to it. And we want to be able to have a place where you can tell your story. We hope that we can actually build an application specifically for our network. And that will be the day that they're really going to want to fight. Oh, and look at that. Just like that. It's like, as soon as I said we're going to build an application, 5 people got cut and my screen froze. I love it. We are going to build an application, but since our president has been held political prisoner, I haven't been able to do a lot of the IT work that needs to be done because that's what my job is. And Jake, I don't think you're an IT specialist, are you?
Not admitted.
So either way, but we appreciate everybody that's tuned in today. Please share this message and support our president. Please help us out in any way that is actual help. Remember, our enemies will show their faces in due time. We're not here to placate to the stupid in our society. We are educated veterans who know how to articulate the crimes government commits against veterans. I love how people are like, all right, he's done talking. I'm out of here. Peace. He's grifting. And yeah, don't worry. We know who truly supports us. So with that being said, have a great day or don't. Choice is always yours. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning about 8:30 outside of the Logan County Sheriff's Department.